give your full attention and observe your breath. Natural breath. Breathing in, breathing out. At a time you can understand, you take a lone breath. Whenever you take a lone breath, understand it as a lone breath. Then there is a short breath. Understand it as a short breath. So try to understand these two stages, two types of breath, long breath and short breath. Focus your full attention Now again give your full attention to your body. Observe your body from top to bottom. And let's now practice Metta, love and friendliness. Observe your body from top to bottom with a relaxed mind, relaxed body. Mentally repeat, may I be well, happy and peaceful. Mentally repeat it. May I be well. Keen full attention to yourself. May I be well, happy and peaceful. May I be well, happy and peaceful. Repeat it a while, mentally repeat it a while. Giving attention to yourself. That is how you generate metta, love and friendliness. Now let's extend metta to all friends here in this hall. Extend in metta, suffuse metta with all friends here. Mentally repeat, may all friends in this hall be well, happy and peaceful. May all friends in this hall be well, happy and peaceful. All beings are our friends. Here in this soul there are many different beings. Let's extend our metta, love and friendliness to all beings in this hall. Mentally repeat, may all beings in this hall be well, happy and peaceful. Try to feel metta. May all beings in this hall be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings in this hall be well, happy and peaceful. Now let's extend metta to all beings in this university. Suffuse metta, extend metta to all beings in this university. And mentally repeat, may all beings in this university be well, happy and peaceful. May all in this university be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings in this university be well, happy and peaceful. Now let's extend Metta, love and friendliness to all beings in this state. Mentally repeat, may all beings in this state be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings in this state be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings in this state be well, happy and peaceful. Now let's extend Metta to all beings in this country. May all beings in this country be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings in this country be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings in this country be well, happy and peaceful. Now let's extend Metta, love and friendliness to all beings in this world. May all beings in this world be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings in this world be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings in this world be well, happy and peaceful. Let's now extend Metta to all beings in this universe. May all beings in this universe be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings in this universe be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings in this universe be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Mentally repeat, may all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Repeat it a while, mentally a while. Extend metta, suffuse metta with all beings without any discrimination. Boundless metta, limitless metta to all beings. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Now repeat after me, repeat with me, loudly repeat with me. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Now slowly open your eyes, join your palms and say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Friends, I am happy to see you all this evening. Now we are going to listen to a Dhamma talk, a short talk. For this Dhamma talk, our topic is mindfulness. Once the Buddha said, Appamado amatapadam. Mindfulness is the way to deathlessness. Pamado machuno padam. Unmindfulness is the way to death. Appamatta na miyanti. Those who are mindful, they never die. Ye pamatta yata mata. Those who are unmindful, they are just like dead people, dead ones. So mindfulness is such important thing. Mindfulness, we have to understand what mindfulness is. So let's first understand what mindfulness is. Mindful means, it doesn't mean that mind is full. Mind is not full with many things. If the mind is full with many things, then we have stress, we have dukkha, we have unsatisfactoriness, we are unsatiated. When the mind is empty, release, then relief is there. So mind should be understood first. Mind and matter, this whole system of the world is mind and matter. Physicality, mentality and physicality. Mind is the vital energy, the fastest energy in the world. Mind, the fastest energy. So it is because of mind that we can move. All beings have mind. Mind has different aspects. Mind has an aspect, the emotional aspect. Another aspect is intellectual aspect. Another one is perceptual aspect. These are three different aspects of mind. When the mind is connected to heart, it is called emotional aspect of mind. Whenever we have emotions, it is because the mind is connected to heart. Then intellectual aspect. When the mind is connected to brain, it is called intellectual aspect, memory. And when the mind is connected to senses, we have 6 senses. When the mind is connected to senses, it is called perceptual aspect of mind. So what is mindful? Mindfulness means attention. Basically it is attention. But the Buddha used only 4 letters in English, sati, S-A-T-I, 4 letters. But for us to explain this, we have to use different terms. Buddha used the word sati for mindfulness. In English, it is mindfulness, attention, awareness, earnestness, alertness. These different terms we have to use to explain that little word, what the Buddha taught. It is such a rich language that the Buddha used, which is called Magadhi or Pali. When the Buddha used different terms in Pali, it's quite difficult for us to explain this in our languages. So, mindfulness basically means attention or awareness. Mindfulness has 2 different aspects. In other words, mindfulness is twofold. Mindfulness of power, mindfulness of memory. Mindfulness of power means mindful in the present moment. When we are mindful, we have to be here, right here. That is what is mindfulness. But there is another one which is called mindfulness of memory, through which you can understand your past, previous lives, even previous lives. Many thousands, millions, trillions births, how you lived in the past. That is through memory, mindfulness of memory. So what is more important is not the memory. Through memory you cannot attain enlightenment. You cannot come to understand reality as they are, as it is. In order to understand things as they really are, we have to come to the present moment. We have to live in the present moment, right now, here. That is what is called mindfulness. Mindfulness and clear comprehension, these two always go together. What is mindfulness? Then clear comprehension. Both these are should go hand in hand. mindfulness, when you are mindful, you are in the present moment. Simply in mindfulness, mindful is not enough. You to see things as they are. In order to see things as they are, you to give attention and understand. So that understanding is called clear comprehension. Clearly, you clearly comprehend, clearly understand what is going on right now, through which you can understand things are changing. That change in nature should be understood. Then you can understand not only this object of my meditation, everything is changing. Then you can understand in the whole world, whole universe, everything is ever changing. If you see that, you can understand that in the whole system of the world, there is nothing permanent. There is nothing to grasp as permanent thing, entity. No substance in the world. Everything is in the flux of changing. That is true mindfulness. Mindfulness and sati, mindfulness and clear comprehension are these two. So, mindfulness, where there is mindfulness, where there is clear comprehension, there arises wisdom. There arises insight, which is called vipassana. That is why we have to practice concentration meditation. When the mind is concentrated, unified, then we can see true. That is vipassana. That is wisdom, panya. So, this is how we have to understand mindfulness. Let's now understand the place given to mindfulness in the teaching of the Buddha, in Buddhism. So, in order to understand that, we need to understand a little bit about Buddhism. This is when we talk Buddhism, sometimes people call it Buddhism, but it is not Buddhism. It is Buddhism. Buddhist mind, Buddhist knowledge, or Buddhist wisdom. So Buddhism is basically on mind, on our mind, our own mind, how this mind works, how it is to be developed, how it is to be developed for the human perfection. That is what is Buddhism. So in order to understand this, teach this, the Buddha taught us the Dhamma. We call it Dhamma. Dhamma means the teaching of the Buddha. Buddhism is not a religion. It is neither a religion nor a philosophy. It is a way of life. It is, if we need to use the term religion, it is a humanistic religion. It teaches us reality, therefore it is a realistic religion, realistic teaching. Reality in the world. What is reality in the world? Reality in the world means everything, whether animate or inanimate, everything has three characteristics, three things, three marks. Everything has these three marks. What are the three marks? Everything is changing, ever changing. Everything is ever changing. That is one thing. Whatever is changing, it is unsatisfactory. That is the second mark, second characteristic. Unsatisfactory. Then whatever is changing, unsatisfactory, there is no unchanging. That is called without a self. Without a self. Nothing permanent. That is what is called without a self. So these three are the marks, three characteristics in all things in the world. Animate and inanimate. All things have these three characteristics. Now, the Buddha taught us the Dhamma. The Dhamma he taught is called what the Buddha really taught. you to understand what the Buddha really taught. What the Buddha really taught are 37 factors of enlightenment. There are 37 factors which lead us to the attainment of enlightenment. The 37 factors are 4 establishments of mindfulness. Buddha taught us 4 establishments of mindfulness. We can understand these little descriptions later. The first thing is 4 establishments of mindfulness. Then 4 right efforts. There are 4 ways to make effort. Then 4 roads to power. There are certain powers like knowledge, different knowledges. To gain this, there are 4 ways, 4 roads to power. Then 5 faculties. We have 5 spiritual faculties to be developed. When we develop this, they themselves become 5 powers. So 5 powers. Then 7 factors of enlightenment and the path for this, which is called Noble Eightfold Path or the Middle Path. Those are the 37 factors which leads us for the attainment of enlightenment. So all this teaching could be condensed into 3 principles, just like a triangle. 3 principles. On the very top is the teaching, the very top teaching is, the central teaching is the 4 noble truths. In the whole system of the universe, where there are beings, there are these 4 truths, 4 facets of truth. Not 4 truths, 4 facets of truth. One truth in the world. In the world, truth should be one. What is that one truth which is common to all beings? There is unsatisfactoriness. Beings are unsatisfied. That is the truth in the world. Unsatisfactoriness. For this, there is a cause. That is the second aspect of the truth. Second aspect of the truth. And the third aspect is the cessation of the cause. If you cease the cause, if you cut off the cause, then there is a cessation. For this purpose, there is a path. So the Buddha taught these 4 things: unsatisfactoriness, the cause of unsatisfactoriness, the cessation of unsatisfactoriness, and the path leading to the cessation of unsatisfactoriness. Those are called 4 noble truths. One truth, but 4 facets. That is what is called 4 noble truths. So of the triangle, the very top is the 4 noble truths. Then the other corner, other triangle is the dependent origination. The dependent origination means we all are interconnected, interdependently existing. We all are, all beings, all things in the world. All these are interdependently existing, not isolatedly existing. Nothing isolated in the world. Everything is depend on other thing. That is the teaching. So that interrelatedness is to be understood. For that, the Buddha taught the dependent origination. And then the third angle is 3 marks, which I taught you, which I talked earlier. 3 marks: impermanence, unsatisfactory, and without a self. Those 3 marks. So these 3 are the 3 principles in the teaching of the Buddha. Now, where is mindfulness? Mindfulness is the nucleus of this triangle. It's the nucleus. It's the middle. That is where you have to understand. That is where you have to practice, develop. When practice, develop mindfulness, the Buddha taught us very well designed technique That technique is the meditation technique that is developed in mindfulness. Why mindfulness? It is the key. Mindfulness is the key. Mindfulness is the watchword in Buddhism. So the Buddha taught us to practice mindfulness. He gave us a very clear-cut way to practice, develop mindfulness. That is called 4 establishments of mindfulness. Buddha said, delivering a very special discourse, Buddha said, monks, this is the way for the purification of beings, for the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of pain and grief, for reaching the path, for the attainment of enlightenment. This is the way. What is the way? 4 establishments of mindfulness. So, in the middle is the mindfulness, which is a square shape, means 4 establishments of mindfulness. Now let's understand a little bit about the 4 establishments of mindfulness. How to practice. Buddha said, in order to practice, develop these 4, the 4 are contemplation on mindfulness of body as body, then feelings as feelings, mind as mind, mental objects as mental objects. Those are the 4 establishments of mindfulness. We have body. We have 2 bodies, breath body and this body. First we have to understand breath body. That is what we did. That's the first thing to do. Mindfulness of breathing. Then we have this body. We have to understand both these bodies. In order to understand this, the Buddha said, Buddha gave different techniques, different methods, different systems to practice. Like, this is how Buddhism is applied in daily life. When we walk, Buddha said, be mindful, give attention, understand how you are walking. When we stand, understand how you are standing. When you sit, understand how you are sitting. When you are lying down, understand how you are lying down. Whenever you go forward, understand, be mindful. When you come back, whenever you come back and forth, understand. When you eat, be mindful. When you drink, be mindful. When you bite something, be mindful. When you chew something, be mindful. When you swallow something, be mindful. When you wear your clothing, be mindful. In such a way, the Buddha taught us. Eventually, the Buddha said, even when you use restroom, be mindful. That is mindfulness. And again, the Buddha said, when you practice, give attention to this body, understand different parts of the body, like head hairs. Take parts by parts, piece by piece, understand these things mindfully. Observe this. Head hairs, body hairs, nail, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, like that. Buddha classified this body into 32 parts and asked us to practice. Be mindful. These are called meditation. These are different techniques, different methods to practice meditation. So, then we have feelings in this body, different feelings. There are many kinds of feelings. Basically, there are 3 feelings. Pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, and neutral feelings. Feeling takes place because of contact. Now, let's understand how contact takes place. We have 6 senses. Internally, 6 senses. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. These are called internal bases. Then there are corresponding external bases. Form, sound, smell, taste, tangible and mental object. Those are called external bases. simply having these two, internal and external bases, we cannot see, we cannot perceive. We should have consciousness. Our mind, the consciousness should be there in the eye to see form. The consciousness should be there in the ear to see, to listen to sounds, like that. 6 consciousnesses. So these 3, the eye, form and consciousness, come together, meet together. Meeting of the 3 is called contact. It is because of that contact feeling arises. It is because of feeling perception arises. That is how perception takes place. Feelings, there are 3 feelings, as I said earlier, there are 3 feelings. Pleasant feeling, painful feeling, or neutral feeling. These are the 3 types of feeling. Now, whenever we have pleasant feeling, what happens? We grasp things. We want to grasp it as mine. We cling to things. Whenever we have painful feeling, we push it, repulsion. Whenever we have neutral feeling, we are quite deluded. We can't understand it. What's going on? Simply we understand that there is something. There is or there are something. That is simple understanding, but not clear understanding. We are quite deluded. Confusion. Where we want to practice mindfulness. If we are mindful at that moment, then we can understand things are changing. Things are unsatisfactory. Things are without a self. This realization comes to us because of mindfulness. In such a way, we have to practice. So the Buddha taught us these 4 methods. Now, that is how we understand feelings. Then mind. Mind is the third aspect of the establishments of mindfulness. Now the third one is mind. Our mind, whenever the mind is lustful, we have to understand as it is lustful mind. Whenever it is not affected by lust, we have to understand that it is not affected by lust. Whenever it is hateful, we have to understand it as it is hateful. Whenever it's not hateful, we have to understand as it is. So, whatever the nature of mind, the state of mind, we have to understand that nature of mind. That is another method, which is the third method. Like the first one is body as body, second is feeling as feelings, third is mind as mind. Now the fourth one is mental objects as mental objects. Mental objects here means realization of Dhamma. Realizations are, we can realize the 5 hindrances. We have hindrances which hinder us for the attainment of enlightenment. They never allowed us. As long as we have hindrances, we can't purify this mind. And we can understand 5 aggregates. This so-called man or woman means 5 aggregates, 5 lots. What are the 5? Form, feelings, perception, volitional formations, and consciousness. These are the 5 aggregates. So man or woman means these 5 aggregates. There is nothing permanent, within or without. That is the teaching. Within or without, nothing permanent. No entity, but activities. Everything is activity, no entity in the world. So, in such a way, we have to understand this Dhamma, these 4 establishments of mindfulness. So, when we develop mindfulness, we can develop mindfulness. Humans have this opportunity, this potentiality to develop this mind as mindfulness. When we develop mindfulness, we can understand that we are bound to samsara. Samsara means birth and death circle. It's a cycle. Birth and death, birth and death. Because of unmindfulness, we grasp things. Because of unmindfulness, we personalize ourselves. That is called Sakkaya Ditti. We personalize. When we personalize, we always think that it is me, I, my, mine, this sort of notions. But there is nothing to call I, my, myself. All these are interdependently existing forms, existing things. So, if we grasp as my, mine, then it's a problem. Then there is suffering, because whatever you grasp, it is changing. When it is changing, we are unhappy. So, we personalize. That is called Sakkaya Ditti. That is the first fetter through which we are bound to samsara. There are 10 fetters. The second one is Vicikiccha. Vicikiccha means doubt. We doubt about ourselves. We doubt about our previous lives. And we doubt about the future life. We doubt here, this world also. So, three times. Past, future, and the present, we doubt. So that is another fetter, the second fetter, which is Vicikiccha. Then third one is Silabbata Paramasa. Silabbata Paramasa means we cling to rules and rituals, rites and rituals. If we cling to rules and rituals, rites and rituals, that itself is a fetter. We are bound to samsara. Silabbata Paramasa. Then Kama Raga. That is the lust, sensual pleasures. Kamaraga. Patiga. Next one is Patiga. Patiga is revulsion. Then these are, as we are living in this world, which is called sensual sphere, we have these 5 types of fetters. And not only these 5, we want to cling to material world. Then we want to cling to immaterial world. Then we have conceit. Then restlessness. And finally, ignorance, avijja. So, Ruparaga, Aruparaga, Mana, Uddacca, avijja. Those are 10 fetters through which we are bound to samsara. If we are mindful, when we develop our mindfulness, when we develop our clear comprehension and wisdom, these 3, then we can cut off these fetters. When we cut off these fetters, the first 3, if we can cut off the first 3, then we can come to the state called stream entry. Stream entry. Then you enter the stream as a stream enterer, where you can understand yourself that your sansaric journey, you have cut off your sansaric journey, leaving behind only 7 birth times, 7 lifetimes. That means you will be born, after that you will be born in samsara only 7 times more. Then the next stage is called once returner. When you cut off the first 3 and attenuate the next 2, you can become a once returner, a stage called once returner. That means after this life you will be born in a heaven. You have to come to this world only 1 time. That is why it is called once returner. And if you can cut off the first 5 fetters, 5 lower fetters, then you are called non-returner. Means you will, after this life, you will be born in a heaven. Then you can finish your sansaric journey over there as a non-returner. Non-returner means you never return here. You don't want to come here. You can finish your sansaric journey over there. And then the 4th level is called Arahant, the enlightened one, who has cut off all defilements, who has cut off taints which are connected to ignorance. As I said, the last one, the 10th fetter is ignorance. Tenth fetter is connected, interdependent with taints, sensual taints, taints of ignorance, taints of existence. So these taints are, once the taints are destroyed, then one can become an enlightened one. So for this, the Buddha taught us the path. The path is the Noble Eightfold Path. Noble Eightfold Path, when developed, we develop mindfulness. Whenever we sit for meditation, even from the very beginning, every day, every moment, we develop our mindfulness. When it is developed, it becomes a mental power, mental spiritual faculty, then a mental power, then it becomes one of the 7 factors of enlightenment, and one of the factors of the path. The path is the Noble Eightfold Path, which later on eventually becomes the Tenfold Path. Tenfold Path, completing the right knowledge and right liberation. So there is a clear-cut path for the attainment of enlightenment. There is a clear-cut path for us to practice. This can be practiced by humans. This Dhamma, this teaching, the Buddha's teaching, is for all humans. Buddha never taught Dhamma to one particular selected group to be called Buddhist. This is for all humans. Buddha's message is for humanity. So friends, let's understand this teaching and let's understand how to practice mindfulness. Whenever we do, whatever we do, if we can give attention to the action, if you can give attention to your actions, whatever the actions, wherever you are, give attention to your actions where you are practicing mindfulness. So in such a way, we can be here in the present moment. Whenever you are in the present moment, you are happy. Whenever you are brooding or whenever you are thinking past or the future, you are not happy. Come to the present moment. That is what's called mindfulness. Stay here, then you can understand things better, properly. You can be happy. You can lead a peaceful life. This is the purpose of the teaching of the Buddha. So friends, let's understand this wonderful Dhamma and try to practice this, put it into practice in our daily life so that we can lead happy, peaceful life. May we all attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So now we can discuss. If you want more clarification, if you need to understand anything about Buddhism or meditation, now it's time. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That must take a very long time for most people.
Right.
To go through or most of them.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. It takes long time. But if we practice it, if you have developed your faculties, there are 5 faculties to be developed. 5 faculties are confidence, energy, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. If you have developed this, then you can understand this properly, easily, quickly. It depends on how you have developed this. It is true that sometimes we can't do this within this lifetime, but in other words, births to come, we can finish this samsaric journey. For that we have to start now, whenever possible. We have to start it and do it. So this Dhamma, Buddha very clearly said, you don't want to wait until you go to the next life. You don't want to go to any other place to experience this Dhamma. This Dhamma, as we recited this, when we start the program, we recited the qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. The qualities of, one of the qualities of Dhamma is, it is directly visible. This directly visible Dhamma means it is visible here in this very world. We don't want to wait to experience this Dhamma, visit into any other place. Here in this very world we can understand. It is true that it takes time, but say like in our life, if we think that it takes long time to take a degree, it takes long time to pass PhD, to become a professor, it takes long time. If you don't do it, you don't get it. You don't pass your exam. You can't achieve successes in life. So as you put it into practice, as you work hard, you achieve success, achieve your goal. The same thing. So these 37 factors are the real teaching which are to be practiced. So you can practice all overnight. Take one, practice mindfulness. You know, this Dhamma is when you practice one thing, all other things are connected to this. That is the important thing. One thing, the Buddha said, practice one. Then you can understand all other things. So what you have to do is practice one. Once his attendant, Venerable Ananda, he went to the Buddha and asked Bhante, is there one thing when practice develops, fulfills four things, and when develop four things, fulfill seven things, when develop seven things, fulfill two things and attain enlightenment? Then Buddha said, yes, there is one thing to practice. When you practice one thing, you develop four things. When you develop four things, you complete seven things. When you develop seven things, you can realize two things and attain enlightenment. So what is that one thing? Mindfulness of breathing. Mindfulness. One thing is mindfulness. It's the key. If you have key, you can open the door. So one thing is mindfulness. So you don't want to worry about all the 37. Practice one. Mindfulness. Yes?
What's the difference between meditation and prayer and also yoga?
Well, that's a good question. Good question. Meditation is, you do it yourself, about you. You are meditating on you, not external thing. You are not observing, not meditating on external things. You are observing your own nature, to understand your own nature of your mind, nature of your body. When you do prayers, you pray, you ask something.
No, but if you believe it is within you, if you believe God is within you, then you don't pray outside.
Okay, so that again you believe something. You believe that God is within you, but there is no place for God to stay in you. Every cell. What is the God is in every cell? You can believe it, right? You can believe. Now the doctors check your cells, right? The scientists, they get the cells. I know these scientists, when they go to lab, they take cells, blood cells, and they check. They put the cells under the what do you call? Microscope. Thank you. Then they check the blood cells. So far as I know, so far nobody has seen the God in these blood cells. So that is how we Buddhists see this. No God or no permanent thing inside. But we see blood cells are ever changing. Not only blood cells, all these live molecules. Consciousness can reach each and every live molecule. That is how we see. Not God is not inside. That is how people say it. People believe. You can believe. Belief is not Buddhism. There is nothing to believe in the teaching of the Buddha. So, yoga. Next is yoga. Yoga is the practice. It's a very good exercise. We all practice. We all can practice yoga. But through yoga, you cannot attain certain level. Like certain level means you cannot purify your mind. You cannot completely eradicate your defilements like greed, hatred, delusions. Through yoga, you cannot cut off these things. Cut off underlying tendencies. There are underlying tendencies, very subtle form of defilements, which cannot be eradicated through yoga. Yoga is a very good exercise. There are different methods. You know better yoga. Perhaps you know better. But through yoga you cannot achieve that success. Okay? Yes.
One technical question, maybe. One of the main differences between Theravada and Mahayana, right, is what happens to an arhat, right, after death. You know, in Mahayana, one of the general claims is that consciousness continues to exist, right?
What exists?
Consciousness.
Consciousness.
Will continue to exist even after you are taken out.
Right.
In Theravada, it looks like there's some debate about it, at least among some monks. You know, some people claim that after you pass into final nirvana, parinirvana, parinibbana, right, consciousness also ceases. So there's nothing left of you at all. According to some other people, no, sort of, you're free from defilements, you're free from afflictions, ignorance, etc. But subtle consciousness continues. This is why some, for example, in Anguttara Nikaya, right, there was one passage which describes nirvana as blissful. So people say, how can you talk about nirvana as blissful if there is nobody to experience it as blissful? So there should be some consciousness which continues after nirvana, even after you die, even after one passes away. Like, what's your take on that?
Well, that is, how people defined it. Whenever you say something, it's language. Through language, you cannot experience Nibbana. Nirvana. Nibbana or Nirvana means not a place to visit and enjoy, not a bliss to experience as an experience through your senses. It is beyond our senses. It is true that when we practice, we realize Nibbana. It is a realization. But it is not a place to visit. And Nibbana, when you say Nibbana, Nirvana, that means the complete extermination of greed, hatred and delusion. As I said earlier, through meditation, only through vipassana, you cannot completely cut off these subtle defilements, underlying tendencies, taints, what you call taints, very subtle ones. You cannot cut off these through concentration meditation. It is only through vipassana.
The question still is, what happens after to an arhat, right, who attain nirvana, when that person passes away? Does the consciousness continue to exist?
Yeah, wait, I will explain. I will explain all these things. Wait a second. Now, when you cut off these three roots, greed, hatred and delusion, you become an enlightened one. So, once when we attain enlightenment, our mind is purified mind. In that mind, there are no form, no feelings, no perceptions, such things, no defilements at all. It is called purified mind. It is not depend on other things, in other words. Now, while we are in samsara, our process is a circle. That is called samsaric cycle, right? The samsaric cycle is formed with mind and matter and consciousness. Okay, mind and matter is one side like this, consciousness is the other like this. The circle is formed. Mind and matter is one side of the circle, one half of the circle. Consciousness is the other side, other half. These two are like this. Okay, so circle like. So this circle is to be cut off, to be broken. It's through mind. That is why meditation. Once you cut off this samsaric circle, the mind and matter, mind means feelings, perception, volitional formation, contact and attention. These five are called mind, mental, mind. And what is called matter means earth, water, fire, air, these four. So these 9 are called mind and matter. Mind and matter depend on consciousness. Consciousness depend on mind and matter. Once you cut off the circle or kick one side, the other side also will fall apart. That is how things happen. So that consciousness has no place to establish. That is called appatittita vijnana in Pali. Ours is called patittita vijnana. This consciousness always depend on other things. The enlightened one's consciousness is called appatittita vijnana, means though there is consciousness but no place to hold it. There is a particular discourse named Kevadda Sutta. If you like to, Kevadda Sutta. At the end of the Kevadda Sutta, there is a stanza where the Buddha explains the nature of that consciousness. That the term used is anidassana vijnana. Anidassana means featureless vijnana, featureless consciousness. There's no features, no earth, no water, no fire, like that. No features, no solidity, no liquidity, nothing. That featureless consciousness is the consciousness of the enlightened one. So, the enlightened one simply living here, what they have, the 5 aggregates, only 5 aggregates, not clinging. Ours are called 5 aggregates of clinging. We cling to these 5 aggregates. Therefore, we are called beings, satta. Enlightened ones are called asatta, asatta, because they do not cling to these 5 aggregates. So they are not clinging to these 5 aggregates. They simply live, just like the light, the lamp. The lamp is lighting, burning, only because there is oil, the wick, oil and the wick. Once those are burned, lamp is extinguished. No more. So that flame, we cannot say where it goes, which directions. Just like that, the enlightened one, when they die, they come to the end. That is the nature. So if anybody says that the enlightened one is born again, it is wrong. If it is called not born again, it is wrong. Like that, these are ends, these are extremes. We don't want to go to extreme. We have to understand what happens here in this very world. Even in this very world, there is no persons to be called Arahant, no persons to be called the enlightened one. Simply the existence of 5 aggregates. There is a sutta, there is a discourse in connected discourse. The name of the sutta is Anuradha Sutta. in which you can understand this definition. If you like to do it, read that sutta also. Okay?
So you can say basically that this purified consciousness, which is not reborn, but it continues
Yeah.
to...
No birth, again, because there is no sort of glue. The glue is gone. Glue means greed, hatred, delusion. As long as you have glue, if you have glue, then it sticks somewhere, right? So, since there is no more defilements, no more birth, what the Arahants do is they completely cease birth.
Right.
Once they cease birth, no death. If you are born, then it is impossible to stop death. Nobody can stop death. That is what the Buddha wanted to find, a way to stop birth, not stop death. But birthlessness is the way to deathlessness. Okay? Yes.
What are bodhisattvas, and are they walking around as living humans?
Bodhisattvas, in Theravada tradition, we consider only one bodhisattva. That is the Buddha before his attainment of enlightenment, or in his previous lives. Like Buddha Siddhartha Gautama, before his attainment of enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, he was called Bodhisattva. Or his previous lives, like Vesantara, Sama, like that, there are many different, about 500 birth stories, in which his character, whatever he did as a Bodhisattva, we call him Bodhisattva. No other Bodhisattvas. We never, there may be, we don't know. We don't want to know. It's too much for us. One Buddha is enough. Buddha said, even now Buddha is no more. Buddha, if we are thinking of many Buddhas today, then we don't get the Dhamma. This Dhamma is enough. Buddha taught the Dhamma. We don't want to expect next Buddha even. This is enough. We have to finish this samsaric journey as soon as possible. For that, the very clear cut way is given, very clear Dhamma is given. If we are wise enough, Buddha said, this Dhamma is for the wise. If we are wise enough, we can read this Dhamma, we can understand this Dhamma, put this Dhamma into practice, then we can experience. In Mahayana tradition, there are many different bodhisattvas, not in Theravada tradition. Any other questions? Yeah?
So, Dalai Lama, Ganji, important people that is helping a lot of people today, is considered just a human being, not bodhisattva. You say that there is just one bodhisattva, right? So, like Gandhi and Dalai Lama, that's helping a lot of people, they're considered just human.
No, they are not considered as bodhisattvas. They are good humans. They are practicing. They are good people. Very good people. They have done a lot for society, and they are doing a lot. We respect them as spiritual leaders, good people, but not as bodhisattvas. Yes.
Can you explain the reincarnation process? How we carry to life to life?
That is actually not reincarnation. We Buddhists don't believe reincarnation. The term is incorrect. Reincarnation. Incarnate means, carnate is the body. Incarnate means something go into the body. In order to go something into a body, you have to believe something permanent. Something permanent which goes to the body. That permanent is the soul, self. So, in that case, first of all, you to believe that there is a soul, there is a permanent entity which transmigrate and go into body, which is not the Buddhist concept. We Buddhists talk about change in nature of everything. In that process, there is no permanent thing. That is why we call that there is no permanent, no substance to be grasped as a self or soul. So, that is, we have to believe it. If you believe it, that's a belief. So, you can believe anything. We can believe anything. But what is belief is not what is right, what is truth. So, however, this consciousness, according to Buddhism, we talk about re-becoming. Re-becoming means you become another. You become another, re-becoming. That means we are born again and again in different levels, different realms. There are 31 different realms in the world. According to Buddhist cosmology, there are different world systems, realms, like hungry ghosts, animals, devas, humans, like that, different realms. So we are born in these different realms according to our karma. If we are doing good karma, we are born in good places. If we are doing bad karma, we are born in bad places. So when we die, what happens? Before that, let's understand how we live before we die. When we are alive, we have 5 aggregates. These 5 aggregates form feeling, perception, volitional formation, consciousness, just like 5 fingers. When we die, what happens? Like this, exactly like this. We leave behind one, that is this form. Then feeling, perception, volitional formation, and consciousness. These are energies. You cannot destroy energy. They take place another. They move. They take another form according to karma. Karma leads the consciousness. Consciousness, together with other faculties, other aggregates, reach to a mother's womb according to karma. If done bad deeds, that place, good deeds, good place. That's how birth takes place. Not only vijnana, together with feeling, perception, volitional formation, and subtle form of form. All these together. Not only one, not vijnana. Then the teaching is wrong. Why? No isolated things in the world. All things are interdependent. Always depend on other things. No isolated thing can exist in the world. Yes.
Which realm?
Plants. Plants are not beings. Plants are not beings. Plants have no consciousness. But plants have feeling, perception, sometimes perception. For some extent, some limited extent, they have sort of feelings. They have life. They have life, but not consciousness. They cannot think. Okay? They have no consciousness as humans, as other beings. Plants have no consciousness. Somebody else wants to ask us. Okay, friends, if you have no more questions, we'll then come to conclusion with the chanting. We are going to chant Metta, loving-kindness, as you practice. We extend Metta to all beings by chanting this sutta, Metta Sutta. Which page?
Page number 7.